Hello, hello everybody. Am I live? I believe I am. How is everyone? Hope everyone's had a great day. Hopefully we'll have no technical difficulties tonight. I've played around a bit with my Kimberly, with my OBS settings, and hopefully it's not gonna drop out and play silly buggers today. Hi Stella, hi Firefly, hi Voices, hi Charlie Hunt, hi JD. I saw you sneaking in there. Hi Lady D, hi Alison Franks. Hi Emma Nicol, hi Hippie Love, hi Shocking, hi This Is It. Hope everyone's having a lovely Monday. Hi Eric, thank you very much. Hi Hampshire Hog, hi Lisa. So yeah, 4 weeks today. We've reached 4 weeks today. Hi Breeze Girl. Hi Elizabeth Diane Johnson. Hi Guernsey Girl. 4 weeks today and we still are absolutely none the wiser. Now, I'm pretty certain and now at this point that law enforcement know a hell of a lot more than what we do, because the fact that they're being just so quiet is just, yeah, something. They've got to have something under their hat. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know whether they're building a case maybe against a certain person, possibly, but the silence is deafening right from law enforcement at the moment. But what I wanted to, what it really got me thinking over the weekend was just a couple of things. The fact that we'll have a look in a minute, but the fact that obviously she said that Gannon left at that time, and according so this is going on. If everything's true, what's been said by the stepmother and everything, he would have left not just by himself, right? He would have left with somebody else, so a friend stroke person. So we would have had two people leaving, and I just find it hard to believe that he wouldn't have been caught on the cameras, right? Even just Roderick's camera, which I believe I've even found Roderick's camera on Google Earth. I think I've spotted it. And we know that others in the neighbourhood apparently had cameras, ring doorbell cameras. So I just find it impossible to believe that he could have left and not been seen on any footage. I'd find that really hard to believe, and hopefully I can prove that to you tonight, and hopefully you'll agree with me. Using Google Maps, images I believe were September 2019 according to Google, so they're not excuse me, they're not too old, and I can't imagine that the house and all the surroundings and fitments have changed much. So just to begin with, a couple of things. I went right back to the start and looked at the very initial police report, and what sort of immediately struck out was the fact that there's no second person on here. There's no mention of a friend, that he left with a friend or another person, which would have been pretty key and paramount, right? I mean, if he left with a friend, what was the friend wearing? Could have described the friend's clothes. There was nothing. So just looking at the initial police report, all we get is that he left home to play outside in a blue hoodie, blue jeans and tennis shoes. And then obviously, you get to the fact that he left his cell phone at home, which is kind of odd maybe for an 11-year-old. You'd think they'd take their phone everywhere. And apparently the last search on his phone was within the context of, can my parents find me if my phone is off? Would that be something that an 11-year-old would have the kind of wherewithal to think of? to know that at 11 years old, to have that kind of awareness that, you know, oh, they might be able to track me through my phone. I don't know if an 11-year-old would know that, would they? What do you think? No. No, I find that it almost just seems a little bit too staged, doesn't it? Like weird, and just fits in perfectly with everything, and yeah, just seems a little bit strange. So he didn't have his phone with him, and apparently the stepmother was working out in the basement with headphones on, and Gannon's 8-year-old sister was also there as well. So yeah, obviously that's, you know, that's a bit odd about the phone, isn't it? And then of course we have, you know, her story about, you know, in the truck, and you know, so I'm gonna take it that she did come home with Gannon. Okay, so we're gonna look at it from the point of, could he possibly have got out of that house when she said, or whenever really, without being caught on camera? And I find it pretty hard to believe. I really do find it hard to believe. And I think you will after as well. So firstly, I thought, right, okay, so could he have got out back? Could he have got out the back of the house? What's out the back of the house? You know, if he gets over a side fence or a back fence, is he going out onto fields? Is he going out? You know, is there a way out? When she mentioned side gate, it was like, is there an exit for him to go out without going out the front? But apparently there's not. Apparently it just backs onto yards and stuff like that. So we've got a couple of pictures from inside the house. It's difficult to see on Google Maps because it doesn't take you behind the houses. There's a kind of road that goes down there, and you can't go down there. But you can kind of, and the aerial shots, it's still almost a building site. So we just have to go by the street shots. But you know, we can see. So we've got some internal pictures, okay, which I'm hoping to bring up here for you. So it gives you a sort of good perspective and what have you of the inside. So if we take this top picture first, so this would be the back door of the house, okay, and you can clearly see through there, you know, there's a side fence, there's a side yard. So if it goes over there, you know, he's got to go through the neighbour's garden, right? Bearing in mind, of course, we know that he struggled to even get to the car. He was sick, he had to go to the doctors, could have been potentially injured. I can't see him scaling a fence and going into neighbour's house, right? That just sort of seems a bit unbelievable to me that he would go that way out the side. As I say, you can clearly see side fence, probably what, 6-foot fence around there, I would say. Okay, and then if we look at the bottom picture, which I don't know if I can zoom in very much. Actually, we've got a better shot of that. If we look at here, so again, this is the back of the house. Again, you can see back fence, and it backs straight onto a house or neighbour's yard, and fence going all the way around the side. So I would find that hard to believe that he would go out the side or the rear. Do you agree with me on that? I think that's quite safe to say, particularly in his state. If he was sick or injured, you know, we saw him struggle to get into the truck, didn't we? She had to help him in. She had to back the truck into the drive as well for him to get in. Can't see him scaling a fence, right? A 6-foot fence into a neighbour's yard to get out, especially when we now know that he had a side gate to the key to the side gate, which the stepmother kindly shared with us, right? So I, 95% sure, maybe more than that there's no way he would have exited from the side or the rear of the house. And we'll see that side gate in a little while as well. That fence, sorry, down that side. So I think that's all pretty clear. The only way he could have got out is through the front. Okay, so this is the front of Gannon's house. Okay, I always think it's when you've got like CCTV footage, it's really helpful and important to try and kind of familiarize yourself and get up close to the actual area that the CCTV is focusing on. So then when you're looking at the footage, you kind of got much more perspective of what you're looking at. And it just gives you a much better appreciation of the CCTV and what it's covering. Okay, so this is the front of Gannon's house. Okay, so we clearly see garage, drive. Right, obviously the drive, you can fit 2 cars in there. Okay, and we see 2 cars on the drive. Right, we see obviously the truck which backs in here on this right side, and there's a black car. Now I think the stepmother's got a black Lexus. I don't know if any sleuths out there can confirm that or not, but I think she's got a black Lexus, and I think that is the vehicle which we see on the CCTV from the neighbour where she's backing in next to it. I'm pretty sure that's her black vehicle, the stepmom's vehicle. And all the talk is that the truck was the father's vehicle, the pickup. I mean, I've also heard that it was at his truck was at the airport. Okay, and I don't know this for a fact. This is what's being speculated. But she hired a vehicle on that Monday, went to the airport, picked up father's pickup. Drove it around, did what she needed to do. Obviously saw her on the footage, and then she took it back. But I don't know. I don't know. This is just speculation, right? This is just all we've got to go on. Obviously, because of law enforcement not giving us anything, which makes me believe even more that they're building a case. Okay, so we know the driveway. Now, obviously she talked about side gate, right? Gannon's got a key to the side gate. He's very proud. He's the man of the house. She suggested that he can exit through the side gate whenever he wants to. And so, as we've seen, there's no way out the back or side, really, not unless he's going to scale a 6-foot fence and hop over the neighbours and what have you, when he's ill as well. So he's got to come out the front, right? So either he didn't, or they've got footage of him coming out. But if they had footage of him coming out with this other friend, then surely they would have shown us that this is the last sighting of Gannon, right? Which they haven't done. And the stepmother said that she gave them a description of this person that he left with and why this person was sent over. Again, we haven't heard this description of anybody. So, that's immediately, I think we're all pretty suspicious of her story, right? I think that's fair. So, this talks about side gates. So this side here, we clearly see it's a fence, okay? So this side's obviously fenced off. Okay, this side gate there is for the neighbour's gate, okay? So Gannon's gate, side gate, is here, okay? Now I can't see from there where the lock is. I don't know whether it's on the inside or whether it's on the outside. This might give you a better view actually. This is quite a good view there. You can see the fencing of the neighbours. So it's confirmed our view from inside. It's all fenced off down the side. You know, 5-6 foot panels all the way around, basically at the back. And there we have the view of the side gate. Looks like there's a lock there, possibly on the inside. I know some people have mentioned sometimes gates have one on the inside and the outside. I don't know. But this is his exit, right? This is what she's saying his exit is. Okay. So when we think of the CCTV and, you know, if he was to come out, we have to bear in mind that he's going to be, because we know the camera's over this side, right? Roderick's camera anyway. We got to bear in mind that he's going to be coming out here, isn't he? He's going to be coming out on the far side of the vehicles on the drive. Okay, so he's either going to go across here, isn't he, and down the road, down here, maybe crosses the road, or he's going to come round here and probably out to the path. Okay, yeah, it's too short to reach the gate. That's a very good point. That is a tall gate. It's as tall as the fence. So, you know, was it 5 foot? It's got to be 5 foot. Okay, so now obviously we know the CCTV footage that we've got of Roderick's footage. Now I think I've actually tracked down Roderick's camera, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So I'm pretty sure that that is the second house along is Roderick's house, and I'll show you why. So as we can see, each house, okay, it's got a lawn, and you'll see in the CCTV footage, and I'll show you in a minute, that you can see 2 lawns in the footage. Okay, one there and one there. Okay, now if we go down here slightly and over here, and we zoom in here. Now I might be wrong, but I believe that there, I'm going to zoom in a second, that there is a camera, and I'm pretty sure that that is the camera that we are seeing on the footage. I don't know if you can see it there. It's in that square there, but it looks to me like there's a camera there, and that does line up pretty well with the footage that we've seen. Okay, now I don't know if you'd agree with me or not on that, but that to me there, in the middle of that there, definitely looks like a camera. And if you can imagine that footage, okay, it's shooting across there, okay. On that camera, I have absolutely no idea. Probably the only way you could do it is if you came out and shimmied along the front of the houses up underneath the camera and disappeared down the road, which is impossible. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that right there is the camera, and it has pretty good coverage. I mean, it's a pretty good angle to cover there. Now if we look at a couple of the shots that we see, if we take this one first, so remember I said to you about the 2 lawns, okay, first lawn there, second lawn there, right, which you'll see a bit clearer in a second. Camera shot 2. I'm almost 100% sure that that footage is not original footage. That is, somebody has recorded that. they've recorded Roderick's television, and you'll see on the next shot, because you can see the edge of the TV. But as you can see there, the 1-2 lawns, okay? So that's Gannon's, this is Gannon's lawn here, second one along on the right hand side. And then you can see the black vehicle which is parked on their drive, and then she backs the pickup in next to it. So we've got a better shot there. Well, that's quite a good shot. And I think it's, yeah, this shot here, I don't know if you can see on there, but you can actually see the edge of, this is the edge of the television. So basically, we haven't got the original, basically, that's what I'm saying there. That's not original camera footage that they've shown us. It's somebody filming Roderick's TV, so they've obviously got much better clarity and what have you. So, I mean, looking at that, you know, and what we've just looked at, you know, even if Gannon was, you know, we know the side gate is on the far side of this black vehicle, yeah. Even if he was walking down that side, you would see him. He would either cross the road, or you would see him further on down the road. And don't forget, there will be two people, because she said that he left with somebody. So I find it increasingly hard to believe that he could have possibly left without being seen, right? Where would he have gone without being caught on Roderick's camera? I mean, you can damn sure Roderick's gone through everything on his camera. Now, whether they have it and they're not telling us is a possibility, but it doesn't really add up, because I'm sure they would have said by now, you know, this is the last sighting of Gannon. So he would have had a friend with him, according to the stepmom's story. He would have had a friend with him, and you know, he would have either come this way down the path, there'd be clear footage, or you'd see him here walking off, or here, you know, walking down the road. So, you know, I have a strong feeling that he didn't leave, which, you know, suggested he return. Of course, we've now got the debate about, there is a sort of shadow that can be seen when she returns, right? In the truck, someone getting out. And then I had a thought today, you know, he had a sister, didn't he? Lena, who's 8 years old. And I was talking to Kimberly and Firefly today, and we were wondering what time the daughter got off school. Could that possibly have been Lena getting out of the truck? You know, it's a possibility. I mean, that truck came back at what, 2:19, wasn't it? Could she have picked her up early from school? I don't know. It just seems a bit odd, doesn't it? But yeah, as I say, I find it hard to believe that, you know, he wasn't seen anywhere on footage. And don't forget, other people, they've reported that other people had footage. I mean, I looked here a few, so here's Gannon's house, just kind of opposite, and then just down a little bit further, if you see here, I spotted this person here. It looks to me there that they've got the Ring doorbell, and I know that it's been mentioned in a lot on social media that a lot of people did come forward with footage, but nobody had any footage of him. So it just leads you to only believe one thing, doesn't it? That he never left that house at the time that she said. which then has to lead you to believe that he never came back. Oh, sister was dropped off by a school bus allegedly after 3 p.m. Okay, all right. So that okay. Well, that answers that question. I mean, who can see on the video? Who can see a shadow sort of as she exits the pickup? Who can see what looks to be a shadow of somebody else getting out? Just put yes, or if you do, I'll be interested because I'm in kind of two minds about it, but I can kind of see something. In fact, I'm gonna play it again just to be 100% sure. Maybe we can just have a look. Let's just stick my channel up there, and I can kind of see something. And then, of course, the other question that I've always said is, why is she taking the time to go out, and why is she back in the truck all the way up to the house? He's got to be ill, or he's got to be injured, right? It's one of the two. There's no other reason why she would do that. You know, he would just run out and get in the truck. There's no, I don't think there's any debate about that. And I've watched this footage so many times now. It's still hard to even tell who's. I mean, it kind of looks as if they've got a white stripe down their trousers there as well, but it's difficult to tell. Could be jeans, and then you kind of see this blue appear, which looks like a blue jacket. It kind of just seems to. This area here just turns into this kind of weird weird blue, and then drops like bending down. It's very pixely and very ghosty, that image. But so we've got to assume that he got in the truck right at that point. And then, of course, we have the infamous bit where she comes back. It's probably be easier for you to watch this on. We've got this video on our channel, but it's I think it's six. If you start from sort of 6 minutes 30, that's when it kind of just starts to happen. It's just as she exits the vehicle, you can definitely see something under the truck, and almost above. I can almost see like a little extra bit of pixelation above the truck as well. But who knows? Who knows? She said she's been cleared of this, so. But please explain to me how he walked out without being seen on the CCTV. It just doesn't make sense. If anyone can explain that to me, I would be most appreciative, because I cannot, for the life of me, fathom out how he would have got out. I mean, I've got some pictures here of, I think they're just sort of like news pictures of Gannon. You can imagine how kind of clear it would be of him on that CCTV, right? I don't know when this was taken. I don't know. I just found it on a channel. This must have been obviously days before. With a friend. This is the sort of thing that you would be seeing on the CCTV, right? So it would be on the other side of the truck. Remember, she parked the truck here. She's got the black vehicle next to it. and then he would have potentially gone that way, or he would have cut across. But they surely would have seen at least his head or his legs. Yeah, Charlie Hunt thinks the shadow was the car door. I have thought that as well, that it could be the car door as she opens it. Say that whole footage. I mean, they've obviously got it much clearer than us. Like I say, we've got a recording of Roderick's TV. If you watch the whole footage that we've got, you can see about halfway through it kind of pans out a little bit. They widen the angle, and you can see the edge of the television. It's obviously being somebody recording it. Roderick showing it on his television. So we don't have the best quality, unfortunately. But you know, these are the sort of images that I'm sure Roderick was looking for. You know, Gannon exiting either down the road or up the road, and I can't see how he wouldn't have caught Gannon on his footage if he left between whatever it was, 3 and 4. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think they're not telling us some stuff because they're building a case, or do you think they generally are stumped? They're certainly keeping it tight-lipped. You know, and the fact that she never said anything about this friend at the beginning. The fact he didn't have his phone with him. The fact that he put in the search. You know, can my parents find me if my phone's off, or words to that effect? For an 11-year-old, it all seems very strange. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I will. I'm going to open up the lines. So if anyone wants to call in and give me your thoughts, then you can do so. I'll put the link in the chat. If there's any locals from Colorado Springs, I know I've had a few emails from locals. If they've heard anything or seen anything, you know, you're welcome to call in if you just want to discuss anything. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you just give me 1 second. Always welcome to calls. I actually know what I'm doing. I've had a million windows open. So that's the link. You can use phone or laptop or whatever. It should take you straight in. You don't have to come on camera or anything like that. Yeah. So then there was a whole carpet story as well, wasn't there? So we you know, I don't understand why the stepmom put all that information out there. You know, she put those videos out there of explaining about the carpet and the blood in the garage, about the side gate. It's almost like she was trying to keep ahead of the kind of story, wasn't it? So it was rather strange. So we're now led to believe that he cut his foot on the Saturday. He sat on the truck while she bandaged it up, and then they went on the hike on the Sunday. And there was a chap who was seen in one of the photos. I'll show you the photo actually. So this guy here. Let me just bring that up. So this guy in the background with the blue jacket apparently came forward and said, "Yes, that was me. I was there that day." So, you know, that's what I've heard. Don't know if anyone's heard any different. So, you know, I guess we have to take it that the hike happened anyway. Hi Angela, just pop in, say hello, wish could stay, but can't now. That's fine, no problem. The replay will be up afterwards. Yeah, Tiffany's kind of summed it up well there. It was like she heard a story on social media and then came up with a reason for the story in her interviews and comments. It does almost seem that way, weirdly, doesn't it? It's like as things panned out and as people started to question certain things, all of a sudden there was a kind of reason for it, something to kind of cover for it. You know, for instance, you know, apparently there was blood on the sofa and they took that away or the crime labs took that away. And then shortly after that, you know, the stepmother comes out saying that Gannon cut his foot. So that explains that kind of thing. But I think it's just, you know, people are just getting so worried. And the fact that we're not hearing anything from law enforcement just makes it all the harder, doesn't it? Because we all just want to help. You know, we all just want to try and help. You know, I'm a member of most of the Facebook forums, and you know, I go on there. You know, how can we help? You know, nobody will give any details about the case or anything like that, which I guess we can understand. Protecting the integrity of the case, but are they building a case against somebody? That's a possibility, isn't it? But I think we all just want to help, don't we? I know we have. Well, I did have somebody email me who kind of went searching in the area that they have been searching recently in Douglas County. I think they did go back there, didn't they? But I'm not sure if they're still out there. Does anyone know if they're still out there searching? He was near the Spruce Mountain, wasn't he? Sort of south of that, Palmer Lake, South Douglas County. But I don't know if they did go back because I think the weather was a bit bad, the snow and everything. But yeah, we've heard nothing, have we? We've heard nothing. So I don't know. It's a very strange one. I don't think I've ever seen a case quite like this, to be honest. It's, you know, a lot of people have said, you know, it reminds them of Casey Anthony and that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's hard not to speculate, isn't it? It's really hard not to speculate. So yes, apparently that guy came forward. So I'll tell you what, we'll just go through her statement again, because her latest statement really kind of raised a few questions with me. It just seemed very odd, some of the things that she was coming out with in her latest statement. So bear with me 1 second and I'll find that. Okay, here we go. So we have a very important update regarding the case of missing Gannon. Let me just mute that a second. I haven't got it written down, but I did read it out on a video. So which we were going to go through last week, but I didn't get around to. Gannon's stepmother, Stauch. First and foremost, I would like to thank all agencies, volunteers and community members who are working diligently and praying endlessly to bring Gannon home safe. Thank you to my husband who has stayed strong through this and protected our family to the best of his ability, and our immediate and extended family members throughout the East Coast. To Gannon, please come home soon because your daddy is waiting to watch the new Sonic movie that comes out this week, and the cool shirt I got you to wear to the theatre is in your closet. Social media has been devastating, from the harsh comments, speculation, threats, cyberbullying, etc. It has been a challenge when people are trying to run you off the road, waiting outside your hotel, threatening to kill you, etc. I encourage the Sheriff's Office to take down those pages that promote negative behaviour and violence. Let's do what Gannon would do. Be kind to one another. I think the stepmother's kind of disappeared now off social media. I haven't seen her commenting recently. There are quite a few support groups for T, and I think the latest I saw was a fundraiser, because they're saying that they haven't got their vehicles and they can't work because they're too frightened to go to work. But yeah, that just to let you know, that was the latest I saw on Facebook. We have all engaged in something crazy online at some point, but Gannon would want everyone to get along and to focus on finding him. I know that many people have kids and are invested in this because it hits close to home for them. I would like to think that overall, most people are genuine and want to do everything in their power to find Gannon. With that being said, please take a step back for a moment and let me explain to you a few details that were not released. For example, just like the video that was leaked, there are additional details that were hidden due to 1. The department doing its job, 2. The effects of social media and how some individuals would criticise or hinder the investigation. So she's saying that, she's basically said that she's been cleared and that they have cleared up the fact that Gannon did come home. So I don't understand why law enforcement aren't just at least letting people know that, right? Because they know that she's getting slaughtered in, the court of public opinion. So why don't the law enforcement just say, yes, we have cleared it up. Gannon did return home. I don't understand why they just don't let people know that. I chose to listen. I didn't leak videos or information. But at this time it's getting later in the process and we just want Gannon home. I feel the need to fill in some gaps. Now let me stress this. Police have known this since the first interview. Saturday night, Gannon was helping me unload in the garage and cut his foot because there are a lot of tools, because Albert does woodworking. So that immediately kind of raised a bit of suspicion with me. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but it was almost like, why are you bringing this up about Gannon cutting himself? It just seemed a bit strange, right? Couldn't quite see the relevance of why she would have brought that up, but then obviously it ties in with people saying that there was blood on the sofa and what have you. He sat on the edge of the car and we bandaged it up. He was good to go. He always loves helping his dad in the garage build things, like his Lego tables and the flower pot they built for me as a gift. After this, I noticed Gannon kept going to the side of the house. So why? That doesn't even make sense, does it? Either he's cut his foot in the garage, and then after this, he suddenly starts to keep going to the side gate. Why? Those two things are completely not connected in any way, are they? So I don't quite know why why suddenly after he's cut his foot in the garage, then he suddenly keeps going to the side of the house. It's like, okay, why would he do that? He told me he was checking to see if the gate was locked because he was the only one with a gate key. It made him proud to be the man of the house while Albert was away. Fast forward, we did a hike on Sunday, cleared, and shopping on Monday, cleared as well, for him getting out of the other side. Please don't think for a second that there isn't enough of technology to... Yeah, that's another good point JD's just raised there. We know that Gannon's father, when he saw this CCTV footage, he broke down crying, saying that she lied, and he didn't go to a friend's, at that time or whatever. So why would he break down like that? Why? That doesn't make sense, does it? Because if he was seen getting out of the truck, why would Gannon's dad have broke down crying saying that she lied? It's just another contradiction, isn't it? To determine shadows and movement around the truck. There was also proof from my phone that we had taken a selfie in the truck in our driveway that was time-stamped. We always send pictures to Albert when we are out and about or when he is away. Again, that seemed a bit strange to me that she would take a selfie in the truck when they've just got back from going out. Would you take a selfie in the truck, particularly if Gannon wasn't feeling well? Again, that just seemed a little bit odd to me. It was, she said, "Oh, is it? It'd be date and time stamped and all that sort of stuff." Again, it was almost just to kind of back up her story of the fact that Gannon was there. That can be scanned for actual time verification. Last, from day one, the Sheriff's Office has known a description of the person/friend whom Gannon left with. So at this point, I was like, what? There was another person. As all of a sudden, we've never heard of this person, and now all of a sudden there's somebody else. He's left with somebody else. So, that immediately then got me thinking, well, you would have seen two people then on Roderick's surveillance footage leaving. A lot harder to miss two people than just one person. So who is this person that she's talking about? Why does she not know this friend? Why did they contact the friend's parents or whoever this person was? I explained to them and provided evidence. They had information about Gannon having the key to go out the side gate. Last, they have more in-depth details that go along with this, pointing to who sent the person or why/he may have come. And that's a weird statement as well, isn't it? Why would someone be sent to your house? Why would a friend or acquaintance of someone like Gannon's age, why would they be sent to the house? That doesn't make sense to me at all, that statement either. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Why she provided details of why that person was sent. It just doesn't make any sense, does it, at all? And they've got details of this person, so why are they not? Me and Kimberly and Firefly talked about this. Why have they not released details of this person? If they've got a description of this person that he left with, why the hell are they not asking or showing people to say, look, have you seen this person? This guy wearing whatever clothes, looks like this, left with Gannon. Why? We've heard nothing, have we? They haven't said anything about another person. So, it makes you think, was there another person, doesn't it? It just seems very odd. And yeah, you're right, Sol and Victor, she said that she was working out downstairs with headphones on when Gannon left. Again, I repeat, they have had this initially and I was asked to keep quiet about it so they could have the best shot at doing their job and bringing Gannon home. The last thing that they needed was a hindrance to their investigation. I encourage you to think of any suspicious cars that may have been in the area watching a few days prior and keep praying for Gannon. And so yeah, it was just a very weird statement, and that was over a week ago now. It's a couple of weeks ago, and since then, I think she kind of has took herself off of social media, or she's certainly incognito if she is still on social media. And I've said it from the start, she, because of the things that she said and how she's acted, she's kind of brought a lot of this suspicion on herself, and you know, all of the speculation. Um, you know, people are going to do it, aren't they? Like we have, because we all want to know where this dear child is. You know, where is he? I mean, it just gets more worrying and worrying. I mean, what now? 4 weeks, like we said at the start. 4 weeks and absolutely nothing. We've had nothing, have we? No sightings, nothing that we know anyway. No, I mean they say that they've had. I think the latest update was 700 and something tips. So I guess you know, our best hope is that they are building a case and that they're protecting the integrity of that case. They don't want to jeopardize it, and they're building a case against possibly someone. That's all I can think of why they're not releasing anything. They've got to know more. There's got to be more to this story, right? The fact that law enforcement are being so quiet. Yeah, you're right. Shocking. They would have. They haven't said anything about strange cars, have they? They haven't said anything about other people. You know, description of the friend that he left with. We never had that. As I say, the initial report, missing report, there was no mention of a friend. Um, yeah, it, nothing ties up with what the stepmother's saying, does it? Nothing. Stepmom's kind of saying one thing, and the case, if you like, and the facts are saying another thing. Doesn't kind of add up. Yeah, Matt Black saying law enforcement must have more footage. The only thing from what I hear is that nobody, I mean, I don't know how reliable this is, but it's just picking up from forums, and there are some locals and stuff in there that said they had footage, but nobody had anything. But I don't know that. That might not be, you know, obviously true. We don't know. But certainly, if they do, they're going to have clear footage of whoever, if he did leave with somebody, they'll have it clear as day. And I'm pretty sure that Roderick would have it as well. Because, you know, from the angle of his footage and what we've seen, you know, like I showed you earlier, let's just have another look at that. As I've shown you earlier, it would have been pretty much impossible for Gannon to leave out the front without being spotted. So as I say, this is exactly where I'll just if you missed it at the start, this is exactly where I don't know this for sure, but looking at the footage and what have you, I think that there is exactly the camera that Drayton's footage is from. I would be 90% sure that looking at the footage and the angles and everything, I can see that that's almost certain that's a camera there. You know, and if you bear in mind that that's going to capture a bit of his drive in 2 yards, that's exactly what we see in the CCTV footage that we've seen. And just to recap, this is the side gate. So this is Gannon's only exit point. You know, other than the front door. Other than the front door, this is the only way that Gannon could have got out of that house. Okay, is that side gate. And like I say, that would have, you know, that could possibly have took him behind the vehicles that you see on Roderick's CCTV. So there could potentially be the 2 vehicles blocking him if the pickup was there and that black vehicle was there. If anyone in the comments underneath after can confirm if the stepmom had another vehicle, a black Lexus. I have heard a black Lexus mentioned quite a few times, but there was certainly another vehicle parked there, wasn't there, on Roderick's footage? Because she backed in next to it. She backed in here with her pickup. So, you know, why is, either Roderick has footage of him and it's not been released, or Gannon didn't leave at that time. There's only two ways about that, really. There's no way he could have left without being caught on that, on Roderick's CCTV. I can't see it. I can't see how that would happen. And the more I've thought about that, and the more I've looked at the footage and the angle of Roderick's footage, it's just confirmed it more and more in my mind that it wouldn't have been possible, because Gannon would have either been seen obviously coming out, down the front to the path, and you'd be seen clear as day, or you would see him kind of exit behind the vehicle here. This black vehicle here is on the far side of their drive. You would have seen him, behind this, walking away in the distance, or obviously crossing the road. So I think maybe this footage, if as possibly put a real spanner in the works, if there was a plan or whatever by anybody, speculating, but if there was, then maybe they didn't bank on this footage and the way that it's obviously affected everything, the timeline and everything, really. But I mean, surely everyone knows, everyone's got CCTV now, right? Everyone's pretty aware of that now, I think. You'd be silly to think that nobody's not going to have a camera. Yeah, Rad Miller is saying, why does she drive in the truck anyway? Exactly. Why would she back the truck in? It's an 11-year-old child, right? He just run out and get in. You wouldn't go to all that trouble of backing in, would you? Unless there was something wrong. And I've said that a few times, and I'll stick with that. He was either sick or he was injured or something else, But he had trouble getting in, so he had visible trouble getting in. He was very sluggish. You had to help him in. Who has to help their 11-year-old boy into their car if he's fit and well and there's nothing wrong with him? You wouldn't, would you? There's a lot of good points coming up in there in the chat. There's a hell of a lot of web sleuths in here, I can tell. Oh yeah, Danette's saying, yeah, sorry to jump in. Law enforcement did say they stand by Roderick's account of what he had to say about the footage. You're right, I forgot about that. They did, didn't they? They stood by it. So you got law enforcement on one hand saying, yeah, we agree with Roderick. Gannon didn't return. And the father broke down crying and said that she lied. And then you've got the stepmom, on the other hand, saying she's been cleared of it, and they confirmed it with all the technology and all of that kind of stuff. So who's lying? One of them's lying, right? Gotta be. So who's lying? Is law enforcement lying? Or is the stepmother lying? Who would you put your money on? But I just pray to God that this all comes to an end soon. My worst fear is that this whole thing is just going to go cold, and the news is going to become less and less. And it's just going to end up one of those cold cases where nobody knows what happened. Time goes on. That's the obvious worry, isn't it? No, you're right, voices. This platform won't let it go cold. That's why I'm sticking on it. That's why I'm continuing to put Gannon's name out there, because I don't want it to, we don't want it to go cold, do we? Keep talking about it, keep raising awareness, keep putting pressure on people. Yeah, that's a good question. Lady Hawk, can the parents not hire a private investigator? Yeah, I don't know. May well have done, I suppose. Obviously, it's money. Obviously, that cost a lot of money. Um, I've had some people saying, the police are useless, they're doing nothing. But I just hope, I'm sure you all do, that they are putting a case together, and that maybe they're just waiting for everything just to be locked tight before they act. It's a real possibility, right? I mean, their silence is deafening at the moment from law enforcement, isn't it? I've never seen, I don't think I've ever seen like a missing child case like this where the law enforcement are basically saying nothing, apart from, oh, we're receiving tips, and, they've done some searches and what have you. But other than that, nothing. Oh, Hippie Love said dog bounty hunter, said the cops know stuff. Yeah, someone else said to me about bounty hunt, dog the bounty hunter has been looking at this, and yeah, he believes that the cops know something. I'm starting to I'm starting to believe that too. I hope, I hope to God that they do. I've also heard that, this is speculation, but I've heard that she hired a vehicle on that day, that morning. Probably a lot of you heard that as well. And that she, there's the possibility that she drove to the airport, because people are saying that obviously Gannon's dad was away with the National Corps, wherever he's in, um, and he drove to the airport, left the pickup there for him when he came back, and so she knew that his vehicle was at the airport. She hired a car, went and got his pickup, drove it back, and then it leads to all sorts of other speculation. But so we don't know. We do not know what is true about that and what's not. Yeah, Matt Black, you're right. All vehicles are impounded, so obviously the pickup's been impounded. I presume that her black car there in the drive, that's got to be their car, right? Because it's on their drive. That's been impounded, and I think it was a white Toyota, wasn't it? Was it her? Was it her daughter's car? Was it the stepmom's daughter's car? No, she got pulled over and stuff, didn't she? And that's when she said the cops roughed her up and were after the keys and what have you. Yeah, it's another good point there. Kristen Co. They've also said there's zero threat to the public. So why would they say that? You know, or suggests that she's not being abducted or anything like that, because the police are saying there's no threat. That's another really good point. Oh yeah, JD. JD was Diane. Diane is now JD. She's incognito for anyone who's not sure. So yeah, three cars impounded in total. There's also some sort of speculation about the stepmother's teaching career as well. There's some debate about the history of that. She said that she gave up the teaching because of a military move. Some people have shown paperwork to the contrary, so I don't know. It's just so what can we do, guys? We've just got to keep the word out there, haven't we? And hope that we hear something soon. There's very little else we can do. Is I can't sort of You know, we all know that the police aren't really updating. They're just kind of saying the amount of tips that they received, and you know they're working on those tips. There's very little else that I can tell you other than what is being speculated, because that's all we have to go on. So, but yeah, just keep his, you know, keep Gannon's name out there, and keep, you know, keep looking through these. There's a lot of Facebook groups if you want to join. You know, Gannon support groups and find Gannon and what have you. You find quite a lot of information in those. You know, it's a good way to sort of support the family, because Gannon's family, they'll know that they're in in those groups, in the Find Gannon Stauch group. So it's a good way to help them. You know, just send them prayers and love and what have you. As far as I know, they're sort of not really being told anything either. Well, they certainly can't release any information anyway. So it leads me to believe that law enforcement know a lot more than we do, and they're keeping things close to their chest. But yeah, I think, you know, I think if you know, watch this video back and what have you, you'll see that it would have been impossible really for Gannon to leave that house at any time really, or you know, when he did, she said that he did, without being caught on Roderick's camera. It would have been pretty much impossible, unless he scaled 5, 6 foot fences at the back and the side and clambered over into neighbours' gardens, and you know, went out that way. But I just can't see it. Well, thank you, JD. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support for the channel. It's much appreciated. So yeah, unless he, you know, unless he did that, then he would have been caught on the footage. So that's got me stumped. Just something for you to think about, guys. How would he have got out of that house? I mean, you know, the stepmom suggested it's the side gate that he went out of. How would he have got out without being caught on surveillance footage? I think it's impossible. So either he didn't leave, or you know, he wasn't there, or they have footage but they haven't released it. But if they've done that, if they have footage and they're not releasing it, then that's suspicious by itself, because you know, they would say that no, this is the last time Gannon was seen. This is exactly what he was wearing. They would show you the picture, wouldn't they? This is what he looked like, you know, or this is who he was with. So do they have footage of something, you know, wrong going on, something nefarious, something that's not right? Yeah, and with the sore foot, Red Miller, yeah. With his sore foot, we know he wasn't well. Well, he could barely get in the car, could he? He could barely get in the pickup. She had to help him get in. So I don't know. Let's just keep praying, guys. That's all we can. Yeah, that's all we can do, isn't it? Let's keep Gannon in our thoughts. We'll certainly keep focus on this channel on Gannon. If you know, if we hear anything more, or we can bring anything more to the table, we'll obviously do that. You know, let you guys know. Sherry Lynn, yeah. So you're just saying about looking across the street there. So we do. I have checked. Apparently, according to the Facebook groups, quite a few of the neighbours did have cameras. But from what I heard, a lot of them said they didn't catch anything, which I found was odd. But so this is Gannon's house right there. So if we spin round, so that's the house opposite. But if you go along one, I couldn't see any cameras on the opposite house. But if you go along one, spin around, go the wrong way like I have. Right, that to me. Now I don't know who. Has anyone here got a Ring doorbell camera and what they're familiar with what they look like? From what I've kind of seen, that there, if you can see in that square, kind of looks like a Ring doorbell camera to me. It's hard to be 100% sure, but it certainly looks like a camera. So I mean that would have had a perfect shot as well, wouldn't it? If that was if that is indeed a camera and that was active. I guess I don't know. They're motion activated. I don't know how far you've got to be from the cameras for it to be detected. You know, whether it would reach the path on the other side of the road, I'm not sure. But yeah, it does look like a Ring, doesn't it? That's the Ring doorbells that I've seen. It does look like one. So that would have had a really good view if he did come out and come this way. And apparently a lot of the houses around there do have similar setups. They do have, you know, Ring doorbells. Like I say, I'm pretty sure, 95% sure that that is that's Roderick's house right there. Two along, so there's Gannon's. Boom, boom. I'm pretty sure that that is Roderick Drayton's house, and I'm pretty sure that that right there is the camera that we are seeing, or that we have seen, because the whole angle and everything adds up to what we see. Because you see a bit of his drive, and then you see boom, boom, two lawns, and then you see their drive. So if you look at that, if you go back and look at the CCTV on our channel, you'll kind of that'll in your head you'll realise that it's coming from there. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. So there's no way that Gannon could have exited. There's just no way he could have, unless he crept along, you know, the very verge of the houses to avoid the camera. I can't see any way he would have got out. Yeah, it's a good point. Chicken Little. Most kids are told to use the sidewalk, not to cut through neighbour's lawn. So if Gannon used a sidewalk camera, should have caught it. I agree. I agree. And the more people say that there was no footage of him caught, the more it just makes me think he didn't leave. He didn't leave at the time that she said. And then you go back to law enforcement saying that they agree with Roderick that he didn't come home in the pickup. So, I don't know, it's just worrying, isn't it? It's worrying because we're now 4 weeks. Weather's been extreme. And we've had absolutely no sign of this boy at all. And it's just worrying, guys, right? I just pray to God the police do have something, and I pray to God that he's safe and they can find him. But if we do hear anything more, and obviously we'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'd be interested to see your comments once the video's finished. If you've got any thoughts about if you agree that he couldn't have possibly got out without being caught, or if you think any other ways that you think that he could have left without being caught on anyone's surveillance cameras, or if you believe that the police have a case and they're keeping it all quiet, then yeah, please all put your comments below. I'll be interested to know, because people have got quite a lot of different opinions, and sometimes it's only when someone else brings something up you think of it, you know. And yeah, it is a heartbreaking case. So I can't imagine what the parents are going through, what the family's going through. When you haven't seen your 11-year-old for a month, just destroy you, wouldn't it? But we're not going to let this case go. We're not cold. We're not going to let it disappear from everyone's minds. So we'll keep everybody informed. Hi, Danetta. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you found it interesting. If you are new, thanks very much. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the like button if you want on the way out, or the dislike. It's all activity for the channel. So I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday, wherever you are, or Tuesday if you're in Australia. And I'm sure I'll be back on again later in the week. And let's just cross fingers and pray that we have some positive news. I don't know about you, but every day I get up, I check my phone just to see if there's anything, if they've heard anything. It kind of consumes you a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, thanks everybody. Much appreciated. Thanks Kimberly. Thanks Firefly for looking after the chat. Thank you so much JD for your donation. That's very much appreciated. So JD was Diane, for anyone who's a bit confused. I'm sure we'll all get used to Diane's new nickname. And I hope she's told the Kundalini Association of her changing name. And that's a bit of an in-joke if you don't know what I'm talking about. So, right. Okay, guys, thanks very much for joining. It's nice to see you all here tonight. And take care and God bless.